Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so welcome back. And for those who subscribed to the channel recently, welcome. So a quick introduction for those who are new to the channel. I'm Crafty, and I've been playing Master Duel since it's been released, and I main Dragunity basically, or technically I main any deck that plays Dragunity as a main engine basically. But recently I've been like playing Standard Dragunity, so yeah. So I'm a Dragunity player. I play casually in Master Duel. I'm not competitive, and I do not really grind the ranked ladder because I find it pointless. Uh, and yeah, so I've been playing Master Duel casually. I've reached Diamond, as you can see here, with Dragunity. Last season, if I show you the history real quick here, last season I reached Diamond 3 with Dragunity, and currently I am in Diamond 5. Of course, it's still the start of the season. But usually I sit around Platinum. You can ignore the gold rank here because I did not play, because I think this is the season where Ishizu tier got released, and they were not limited, so yeah, that format was really boring, so I did not play during that format. However, when I do play, I usually am in Platinum, and recently I climbed into Diamond. I'll show you like really quick the history, like my recent history with the deck. So a lot of wins, some losses, of course. I think I'm in a 6 win streak, seven win streak. So yeah, so I've been doing really well with the deck. So yeah, that's just a quick introduction for those who don't know me basically. So yeah, so in this video, I'm gonna try to review Dragunity in general and talk about its its strengths, and how does it do basically in the current meta, and whether or not you could potentially climb with it to masters or not. So I'm gonna talk about a particular deck list today, which is the deck list that I got into Diamond with, basically. I'm gonna talk about my choice of cards, why do I play certain cards, and why do I play certain ratios, basically, of certain cards. So yeah, so let's just start by saying that Dragunity is not really new player friendly. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if you're new to Yu-Gi-Oh in general, or if you're new to Master Duel, Dragunity is not really the deck that you want to pick up right off the bat to learn the game in general, because this deck requires you to have mastered the fundamentals of Yu-Gi-Oh already, and have some advanced knowledge of the game in order to pilot it correctly, basically, and actually have fun with the deck. Because if you don't know Yu-Gi-Oh that much and you start playing with this deck, you're not gonna have fun. Okay, so the Dragunity is more of a deck that you pick up once you have learned the basics of of Yu-Gi-Oh, and you want to try something spicy, something that is really fun to play, basically, and very rewarding. Like it feels very rewarding to play and master this deck. So yeah. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's start by talking about this deck list. So as you can see, I run a 50 card deck list. And the reason for that, the main reason why I play 50 cards is because of Max C. Unfortunately, I've tried before to play deck lists without Max C, but I found out that it's very it's very bad to play without it, because you are at a disadvantage when you play without Maxi. So I forced myself to play Maxi, unfortunately, even though I hate this card. Like, believe it or not, I hate playing with this card more than I hate playing against it. That's how bad it is, basically, because Maxi in Dragunity in particular is bad because it makes your deck more bricky and less consistent if you build it like usual. That's why I go into 50 cards to try to minimize the risk of breaking with this deck, and it's been doing well so far. So yeah, of course, when you play Maxi, you want to run 3 copies. Please, if you're playing Dragunity with Maxi, don't play 2 copies or 1 copy. Just play 3. Just play 3 and run with it. Of course, with Maxi, you're gonna run the 3 Ash, the 2 Called by the Grave, and the Cross Out, just to maximize on the maxi package to both play with it and against it basically. So yeah, so with the maxi package out of the way, let's start with the actual deck list basically. So you're gonna run one Samsara Dragon, which is your way of recycling Mistletoe during the combo. I run 2 Baby Rock. Technically you only need 1 Baby Rock for the combo. However, sometimes you just draw a nice hand that allows you to go into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, in which case you're gonna use 1 Baby Rock. And because I like to have the second Baby Rock for later on in the combo, I just run 2 Baby Rock. So 1 Baby Rock for a potential Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and the other Baby Rock is for the actual standard combo basically. And running 2 Baby Rock actually allows you to have both Crystal Wing and Arid Bear on the field on top of Borrow Load, Savage Dragon, and Seals. So you're gonna have these 4 cards on the field if you run 2 Baby Rocks basically, and you draw like the correct extenders basically, which you do most of the time. For Phalanx, I run 2 Phalanx. Technically you only need 1 for the combo if you don't have access to Koos. However, I run a second one as a target for Seals if I wanna like if I know that the target that I'm gonna summon with Seals is gonna stick to the field and not get removed from the field, I can just summon Phalanx, and as soon as my opponent passes turn, I can just synchro with Phalanx and Lobelian, for example, into Baron de Fleur first thing like on my turn, which is nice. Or I can use it for something else. Like either way, like the second Phalanx is nice to have in the deck as a target for Seals, basically to go into a synchro play on your next turn. Koos, you only need 1 copy of Koos. The main reason for playing Koos is basically to go into Arid Bear in your main combo. But you can also like use it with Dukes to go into Vairayana and then go into Ascalon as a follow-up play if you're going for the OTK play basically. Remus, you play 3 Remus, of course. It's mandatory. This is the best starter in your deck. It gets you access to Ravine, and it gets you access to your combo, which is Remus plus 1 discard. If you don't have Remus, usually you will have Ravine, and Ravine gets you access to Remus and gets you access to your Legatus to start your combo. So whatever combo you do with Remus with 1 discard, you're gonna do it with Ravine plus 2 discards, if you don't have access to Legatus, of course. You play Gizarme. Gizarme is one of the best cards in the deck. It's so versatile in what it can do and in what it can offer. I play 2 specifically because I'm playing Whirlwind, but if I was not playing Whirlwind, I probably run only 1 copy of this. Gizarme allows you to basically go into Romulus on its own because it can summon another monster from the graveyard basically with a certain requirement, of course. And Gizarme is pretty important if you're gonna go into Crystal Wing early on in the combo. So you go into Crystal Wing with like Guidurg and Baby Rock, and then you normal summon Gizarme to go into Romulus and continue your combo basically. But Gizarme has a lot more applications that you probably will learn with experience. So I play 2 copies again because I play Whirlwind, and I will explain why I play Whirlwind in this particular deck list later on. Dukes. So Dukes, I play 1 copy of it. So Dukes or Dux, however you want to pronounce it. So 1 copy of Dukes is enough. You can play 2, but it's not necessary. And the only reason why you play 1 copy is just in case you got interrupted a lot and you still didn't normal summon, so you can just normal summon Dukes and continue playing from there. Or you can just add Dukes as a follow-up for next turn, like with Guidurg or with Ravine. So yeah, this is just as a follow-up play. I'm gonna be honest with you, I very rarely normal summon this card. Like rarely. Like for some reason, I like before in the last formats, I would use this card all the time, but nowadays it very rarely comes up. But it's still necessary to have 1 copy of it. as like as a follow-up or for the grind game basically. Zephyros. Zephyros is kinda in the same boat as Jukes. Like it's not necessary for the combo anymore. Like for those who were playing Dragunity before and stopped playing in Master Duel and coming back now, you're gonna be surprised by how like almost irrelevant Zephyros is in the combo, because the main point of Zephyros is to simply recycle Ravine back to your hand. That's the main reason why you play Zephyros. So of course you can recycle other cards from the field back to your hand, but the main reason why you play Zephyros is because you bounce back Ravine into your hand basically, which allows you to use Ravine again. You probably are never gonna use Zephyros to go into any of the synchro plays. The only extra deck card you're gonna use Zephyros for is probably Romulus. You're gonna use like Guiderg and Zephyros to go into Romulus, but yeah, like this card is just to recycle, like to bounce some cards off the field to your hand or to the extra deck, or to the hand specifically, not the extra deck. You cannot bounce cards to the extra deck, it needs to be specifically to the hand. Also, Zephyros has another application, which is very niche basically. Zephyros being a dark monster can be a really good bait for bestials. Certain players that you're gonna face are used to facing the old Dragunity, where Zephyros is a very important combo piece, right? So some players might get hasty and just banish Zephyros from the graveyard with a bestial, for example, or maybe they will waste like a DD Crow or something, and that's good for us because we don't really need Zephyros for the combo. We just need it to bounce back Ravine. So it could be bait to for bestials basically. Senatus. Senatus is a weird card. Like I hate this card. Like I think it's a very badly designed card. However, for some reason in this current meta, it's doing very well. Like it's actually doing so well that I'm playing 2 of it, and as you're gonna see later, I can actually bump this to 3 copies if I replace some cards in the deck. For some reason, some players like to Veiler or Imperm this card. I don't know why, but it's a hand trap magnet. Every time I normal summon this card, my opponent spends like 10 to 15 seconds reading this card, and then they just Veiler it or Imperm it or something. Like, or maybe they waste a trap card, like trying to destroy it or something, because they read this card and they think, oh shit, like this card actually equips a tuner directly from the deck within Dragunity. This card must be crazy, right? And they just waste their interruption on it basically. So yeah, this card I only play it because it's either an easy combo starter if it doesn't get interrupted, or it's just a hand trap magnet, and that's it pretty much. And I play 2 copies because I have enough Dragunity cards in the deck to justify playing 2 basically. I don't mind seeing this card in my opening hand because I'm playing enough Dragunity named cards that I'm gonna see it probably with another Dragunity card basically in the opening hand. So it's still useful. Seifert. So Starlish Seifert is an important combo piece that allows you to get access into your bestial engine. So Starlish Seifert is your bridge between the Dragunity engine and the bestial engine. That's how you access bestial engine through Dragunity, and the way you do that is by like using Mistletoe basically. You're gonna use Seifert by tributing the Mistletoe to get access to Saronir most of the times basically. But if you have Saronir in hand, you're probably gonna get either Boldrake or Magnamut. So yeah, and this card is also very nice in the graveyard to recycle Lubellion back to your hand to search Magnamut basically, or Boldrake if you already have Magnamut. So yeah, so Seifert is your bridge between Dragunity and bestial engine. Legatus is usually a one-off in this deck, but because I'm playing 50 cards, I bump it to 2. And also because I'm playing Senatus. So when you play Senatus and when you're playing like a big deck in Dragunity, usually you want to have 2 Legatus at minimum, because you can sometimes draw Senatus plus Legatus and no other starters, in which case you can afford to discard the Legatus to go into your combo, and you can later on in the combo access another Legatus if you need to, basically. Also, 2 Legatus is nice because sometimes you can normal one of them and search the second one and special summon the second one. So that allows for more gas, basically, for more juice and more extending. And the second effect of Legatus can sometimes be relevant in the grind game, so you search the second one to use the pop effect. So yeah. Mistletoe, it's a one-off. It's just a combo piece that you can recycle with Samsara Dragon one time during the combo, and yeah, it's a really good combo piece. It's a really good extender. The Bestials. So the Bestials, you play all 4 Bestials, like 1 of each, and you play 2 of Lubellion. I used to play 1 Lubellion in other deck lists, but I bumped it to 2 here because it makes it more consistent to search your Bestials and to get use of Seifert. If you only play 1 and your only 1 Lubellion gets removed from the graveyard somehow, you're pretty much stuck, and you're not gonna get access to your Bestial engine, basically. So you play 2 Lubellion plus all 4 of the other Bestials. Tempest, of course. Tempest is another way to search Remus, whether with its own effect or with Gold Sarcophagus. You play Red MD, of course, because Red MD is a very strong dragon card that allows you to special summon any dragon from your hand or graveyard, so it's a really good extender. Usually you summon this card off of a Tom, but sometimes you just summon it from the hand with its own effect. Armagram. So Armagram is not technically necessary in this deck, however I like the card, so I play it. It's that simple. Also, a lot of people overestimate this card and over-respect this card. I've faced so many like meta players who play like Sprite or Tearlament or whatever, and they will waste a negate on Armagram, basically. Like, they will either try to prevent Armagram from being summoned, or they're gonna negate it or destroy it on the field once it is summoned. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, it has a good effect, but yeah, it's just a good extender that can bait out interruptions on its own, basically. So it opens you up for more plays, basically. Nibiru. So Nibiru is interesting here. I only play 1 copy of Nibiru because I play 3 Maxi, so it's never bad to draw into Nibiru when you are under Maxi, basically. Under your own Maxi, I mean. So, and actually you can punish a lot of plays with Nibiru because a lot of players are playing like Nibiru doesn't exist, basically. No one is respecting this card at the moment, and playing one Nibiru can actually punish some players if they don't play around Nibiru. So yeah, I got this idea from watching Trishula, basically. Trishula is a Dragon Link player, and I agree with his reasoning, basically. That's why I use Nibiru here. For the spell cards, so I play 1 Harpy's Feather Duster for the back row decks, 1 Gold Sarcophagus to use Tempest, 1 Glow. You only need 1 Glow because usually this card will always resolve. Nobody is gonna ash this card or whatever. Like, nobody like respects this card enough to ash it or anything, so it's gonna always resolve. And you only play 1 because you're only gonna ever get use of it only once, basically. That's it. You never like need the second one, basically. Divine Lance. So Divine Lance is very interesting. Divine Lance is a very wacky extender that nobody expects. In fact, I'm willing to bet that most players don't even know this card exists. Like, unless you are like a Dragunity player yourself. Like this card extends out of nowhere. Like you will get interrupted out of the wazoo, and then you just equip a Dragunity monster with this card, and you continue comboing like nothing happened. And I've actually had like 2 replays. Well, not replays because I did not save them, but I've had 2 games where the opponent scooped immediately after I activated the effect of this card to summon like equip like a tuner from the deck. Like they were like, oh shit, like I just hand trapped him and they're still comboing, fuck that shit, and they just scooped. I've had that happen twice, and that's actually really funny. But yeah, like this card extends out of nowhere. Like you will get like impermed or veilered on Guidurg, or sometimes people will just like imperm Dukes or Lenatus, and you have this in your hand. You just extend out of nowhere, basically. Yeah, so and this actually sometimes when they interrupt you, this card alone allows you to extend even further than you would have extended normally, basically, because this card gets you access to Kus very early on. So now you can just do the combo with only 1 atom instead of 2, so which is great. So yeah, you never use this card because of its first effect, where it makes like the Dragunity monster unaffected by trap effects. Like it's just a bonus effect. It never comes up, even when you play against trap decks, because usually trap decks will deny you resources before you even get a chance to use this card. However, like the actual relevant effect is the effect to like equip a tuner from the deck directly. The first effect is actually really good as well. Like increasing the attack by 100 times the level of the monster is really good, especially if you're trying to OTK. There are some OTK lines where instead of search and glow with Romulus, you search Divine Lance, and you just go into like Ascalon plus Savage Dragon, and that's pretty much OTK the opponent. Like Savage plus Ascalon equipped with Divine Lance plus the Romulus on the field. That's pretty much an OTK. So yeah, there are some interesting lines with this card, but it all depends on your hand and on the board state, basically. But it comes up. It does comes up sometimes. 3 Ravine, of course, it's a no-brainer. The Branded Regain alongside the Branded Beast, like it's a very good cards to have with the Bestial package. Called by the Grave, cross out, of course, for Maxi. Whirlwind. So Whirlwind is very important in this particular deck list and in this particular meta because of tier limit. You're gonna be surprised when I tell you why I play this card. The reason why I play this card is not because I'm playing Black Rose Dragon, believe it or not. Black Rose Dragon is only there just because I happen to play Whirlwind, right? It's just a bonus. I very rarely even summon Black Rose Dragon. And even when I summon Black Rose Dragon, I don't even do it through Whirlwind. Most likely I will do it just by normal summoning his army, basically. So the main reason why I play Whirlwind in this deck is tier limit. So if you know tier limit, you would know that they have 2 cards that bounce back a card off the field. They have Kaleido Heart, and they also have Kelbeck. And one of the most frustrating plays a tier limit can do to a Dragunity player is when you summon Guidurg and then they summon Kaleido Heart, or they use the effect of Kelbeck in the hand to bounce back your Guidurg into the extra deck. It's very frustrating because at least if they destroy it, it goes to the graveyard and you can do some plays to recycle it back and use it, right? But when they put it back in the extra deck, you need to have extenders to go into Guidurg again. And that's exactly why I play Whirlwind, because most of the time when you summon Guidurg, most players will bounce back Guidurg into the extra deck before you even use the effect, right? Because the bounce does not negate the effect of Guidurg, right? And I don't want you to access your resources by the effect of Guidurg. So on summon, they're gonna do either like a play to summon like Kaleido Heart, or they're gonna use Kelbeck. And because they do that, they're gonna leave your field empty. And if you have Whirlwind in hand, you can simply activate Whirlwind and resummon back Gaiderg again. So you reset the combo. You started your combo, you went into Gaiderg, and then they bounced it back into the extra deck. So you just summon another one with so you resummon it with Whirlwind. That's why I play Whirlwind in this deck. It's specifically for the tournament matchup, and also for any other deck that plays Kelbeck, or any deck that bounces cards off the field, basically. So yeah, I found that play really really helpful. It doesn't come up that often because you still need to hard draw the Whirlwind, but whenever you have Whirlwind in hand and you know you're playing against tournament, you wanna keep it until they bounce back your Gaiderg, and then you can just summon it back, basically. So yeah, that's the main reason why I play 2 Whirlwind. And the last card is Oubliette. Oubliette is just there just in case I draw Glow, basically, or sometimes you get interrupted and your only play is to extend through a Bestial, so you don't go through Glow. In that case, with Romulus, you search Oubliette instead, because you don't have access to Mistletoe. If you don't have access to Mistletoe and your Romulus gets negated or something, you need to go into either Oubliette or Divine Lance, basically, depending on your hand. So yeah, it's just another target to search with Romulus. So that's it for the main deck. So if you remember earlier, I said there are 3 cards that I usually remove from this deck list in order to bump up the number of Dragunity cards. Usually those 3 cards are Nibiru, Crossout, and Oubliette. You can remove these 3 cards and instead play a 3rd Senatus, a 2nd Divine Lance, and a 3rd Whirlwind. And because you're playing more Dragunity named cards, it justifies playing 3 Senatus, basically, because you're gonna have more chance to draw into Senatus plus another Dragunity card, and maybe even plus Remus or another tutor. So you have more choices, you have more gas, basically, so you can just combo. You will always have combo, basically, in hand. And the reason why I would remove Nibiru, Crossout, and Oubliette is if I feel like I need to play more gas in one particular day, basically, because sometimes you play in a particular day where you face a lot of certain decks, and against those certain decks, Nibiru is not gonna do anything, and Crossout and Oubliette are not gonna do anything. In which case, you just remove them and put more engine cards, and you just play with more gas, basically. So yeah, the extra deck is very generic, like 1 Gaiderg, 1 Vairayana, 1 Luwin, 1 Black Rose because we're playing Whirlwind, 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Savage, 1 Ascalon, 1 Arid Bear, 1 Baron de Fleur. This card is not necessary. You can go into it sometimes, and there are some lines where you don't get locked into dragons and you can summon it, but it never comes up often enough to justify playing Baron. But Baron is there just because you can summon it on the follow-up next turn, if you happen to summon Phalanx with Hieratic Seal, basically. So if you summon Phalanx with Hieratic Seal, you have a chance to summon Baron de Fleur, basically, with Lubalian. You play 2 Atom. 2 Atom are necessary in this particular deck because not always you're gonna have early access to Kus. So when you don't have early access to Kus, you need to play 2 Atom. The first Atom is there to access Samsara Dragon, and the second one is to summon the Red MD. If you have early access to Kus, that means that you're gonna free up a usage of Gaiderg. And that free use of Gaiderg, you're gonna use it to bump the Samsara Dragon, which you usually summon off Atom, basically. So yeah, if you don't have early access to Kus or Samsara, you need to go through 2 Atom, basically. The first Atom is gonna get you access to so basically the first Gaiderg summon is gonna get you access to Kus, and then you go into the first Atom to get access to Samsara Dragon, right? However, the early access to Kus or Samsara removes the play from Guider to access Kus. So instead of accessing Kus through Guider, you just access Samsara Dragon with Guider, which frees up one atom to not be used, basically. So yeah. However, most likely, if you don't open extenders or a hand that gets you access early to Kus and Samsara, then you're gonna go through both atoms in the combo. You play two seals because you need one seal for the actual combo to extend, and the second seal you're gonna end up on the end board. You only need one Romulus in the extra deck. Usually, if you're gonna need the second Romulus, you either already lost or you already won the game. So that's why you only need one Romulus, basically, because by that time it's already over one way or another. And then you play Borreload Dragon. So Borreload Dragon is only in the extra deck to deal with one specific card, and that card is Borrel End Dragon. We don't have a way to out Borrel End Dragon within the Dragunity engine, so that's why we play this card, which can be summoned easily with Dragunity because we have many ways to special summon monsters, so we can go into it very easily. And the reason why this card outs Borderland is because it's a non-targeting removal, basically, which basically steals the monster from the opponent. Of course, in order to do that, you need to bait out the negate of Borderland first. So yeah, and the reason why we cannot like banish Borderland with Ascalon or whatever because Borderland cannot be targeted with monster effects. So yeah, and Ascalon targets. So yeah, so we play this card to out Borderland specifically. However, Borderload Dragon also happens to counter other cards like Avramax, like IP Avramax specifically, and Baguska. So yeah, so you always have this option to out Baguska, IP Avramax, and most importantly, Borrel End Dragon. So yeah, so that's been the deck profile. I hope you guys like enjoyed this video, and I hope you understood like my choice of cards and my choice of ratios for certain cards. And if you have any questions about this deck list or questions about anything else concerning Dragunity, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it, whether in the comments or in the next video that I make. So yeah, so that's been the deck profile. Next video I will go into some replays. I have like some replays like stocked up here that I'm gonna use to explain a lot of different plays, and whether through disruption or not. As you can see, I have a lot of replays saved up. So yeah, so thanks you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.